Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at Unit 3.11, which is all about spectroscopy and the electromagnetic spectrum. So let's get started. You likely learned about the electromagnetic spectrum in Chem 1, but let's just review a little piece of it. This is a spectrum of different types of energy that have some things in common. They all travel in waves. They all travel at the speed of light. We're going to talk more about those characteristics in our next lesson. But certain types of radiation that we are going to focus our attention on today are going to be in this area. We're going to talk about ultraviolet and visible light, infrared, and microwaves. The concept of spectroscopy means applying these different types of radiation, and again, we're going to focus in on just certain types of them. Applying those different types of radiation to atoms and molecules, and based on what those atoms and molecules do, can give us some information about them. That's what spectroscopy is all about. So if we apply ultraviolet and visible radiation or visible light to atoms and molecules, this is something you may have learned about in Chem 1. What ends up happening is electrons can make transitions from one energy level to another. More specifically, if you remember back from Chem 1, you likely talked about ground state versus excited state. Electrons go into excited state by absorbing these types of radiation. So ultraviolet and visible radiation or visible light can give us information about an atom's atomic structure, and more specifically about electron energy levels. Infrared light or infrared radiation does not cause electrons to jump from energy level to energy level, but it does cause molecular vibrations, which gives us information about the types of bonds and bond order. If you all will recall, the term bond order just means the number of bonds. Like a double bond has a bond order of 2. A triple bond has a bond order of 3. So shining infrared light on molecules and atoms can give us information about that in the way that they vibrate. The third type that the AP exam looks at is microwave radiation. And again, that is not going to cause electrons to jump from energy level to energy level. That's unique to ultraviolet and visible light. It doesn't cause the atoms and molecules to vibrate, but it does cause them to rotate in certain ways. And what that gives us information about is not atomic structure, it's not about the bond order, but it gives us information about the polarity of those bonds. Based on how the atoms rotate, gives us information about the polarity. And as I said, we're going to talk more in detail about the electromagnetic spectrum and the characteristics of waves. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in our next lesson. So this was a quick one today. But I hope you've learned a little something, and I look forward to seeing you next time.